Welcome back, everybody. We got plenty of baseball to talk about tonight.
So let's start with Delmarva's professional baseball team. The Shorebirds getting ready to take the field to kick their 2022 season off. Shane Davis on the mound, and he sends one right down Broadway for the swinging strikeout. Birds keeping the Nats off the base, but it wouldn't last long. Braden Bazier at the plate, and he's going to send this one all the way back. Ryan Higgins all the way to the warning track, and that's going to bring in a run. RBI double for Boisier. Nats strike early and take the 1-0 lead on the Birds. And now the Birds will try to respond. Higgins up at the plate, and he's going to send this one down the third baseline. Stand-up double for Ryan Higgins, and the teeing run is now in scoring position, and the Birds are in striking distance to try and tie the game. But unfortunately, Delmarva would not be able to respond quickly.
All right, Davis Tavares is up now. He swings through that one. Strikeout for the Nats, and that was a story for the Shorebirds early on. Runners on first and third here. Isaac Bellany striking out and leaves both men stranded. But the Birds would come storming back as Daryl Hernandez is going to drive that one up the middle. That brings home a runner. RBI single for Hernandez. And Delmarva takes the comeback win tonight. They start their season off right with a final score 9-6. Shorebirds are now 1-0. So, Devin, we've been spoiled with the Shorebirds recently the last couple of seasons. We have seen some star prospects coming through Delmarva, like Gunnar Henderson, Kobe Mayo, Colton Cowser last year, Grayson Rodriguez, who is now the top pitching prospect in all of minor league baseball, Adley Rushman, the top catching prospect in minor league baseball. The list goes on and on. The Orioles have done a tremendous job of drafting and stacking the farm system. The thing about the Shorebirds is we are among the first stops for many of these professional baseball players, these future stars. But I'm not sure how many stars this team has this year, if I'm being brutally honest. Heston Kierstad was the second overall pick in the draft 2 years ago. He's gone through a lot of injury concerns the last couple of years. He's back on the minor league injury list this year to start the season off. But if he does suit up at Purdue Stadium, he has a ton of power. That's his calling card coming out of Arkansas. He is a player to watch out for.
And now the win, though, tonight gives them the right momentum to kind of start off the year. And you just mentioned in terms of the Birds being a big stop to the big leagues. While that's good for those players who actually make the leap, what about the team that's still here on the shore that has to kind of be the same station? They're the constant. They're not going anywhere. They're the ones that staying here all the time. So that high turnover rate can cause a lot of influx. And this year is no different. I mean, there's 21 new players this season. You mentioned about whether or not there's any future stars. We'll see. But just the influx of new players, that's a prerequisite to being a minor league system team. But who knows how that's going to affect this season? Again, they're 1-0, so we'll see.
Hopefully the Shorebirds will be able to make it back to those playoffs. They went there a couple of years ago. All right, so our major league teams also taking the field, two of them for opening day. So let's start with the Fightins taking on the Oakland A's. The Phillies were busy in the offseason adding a couple of big additions. Here's one of them. Kyle Schwarber, lead-off home run to start the season on a 3-2 pitch. Fills up early, but here's Nick Castellanos lining that one down the left field line. That's in for extra bases. Here's Bryce Harper hustling around the base paths. He's going to score from first. Aaron Nola gives up 4 runs but strikes out 7, walking none over 6 innings. Phillies win 9-5. Orioles in Tampa this afternoon. There's Anthony Santander with a drive, deep center, and gone. Solo shot to tie this one up in the 6th inning. But that's all the offense the O's would see today. The Rays would get the bases loaded in the 8th. Here's a go-ahead run off of a sacrifice fly. Orioles fall 2-1 to open their season. As for the Nationals, they are currently trailing the Mets 6-3 in the top of the 9th inning. Max Scherzer, longtime National, with a 6-inning performance, giving up just 3 runs for those New York Mets.
You know what my takeaway was from the first Phillies game was seeing Bryce Harper run. You see how fast he was going? He's doing so fast his helmet came off.
He's a 5-tool player. Yeah, he is fast. He's got a cannon in a race. He's not just about that bat.
Right. Yeah. No. I just saw him sprint real quick, and I was thinking, I'm like, baseball's a game you could be in your mid to late 40s playing, or at least early 40s.
It looks
playing.
that way, doesn't it?
But it does look like that. But obviously they have monster skill, monster hand-eye coordination. coordination, but sometimes you need a little speed, and you saw him just moving and just flew right off.
So what do we think about these teams this year?
I mean, obviously the Orioles didn't do so well last year, and neither did the Nats. So really, the only team that actually had a winning record was the Phillies. So for me personally, I'm looking to see how much growth they're going to make this year, because again, going from 82 and 80 to making that next jump is a hard thing to do, but a lot of teams do it all the time. So I want to see if they're going to build on that or if they're going to regress. I mean, obviously their lineup is going to be very big this year. I mean, they're the first 6 spots of the lineup, as you mentioned, Kyle Schwarber, Rhys Hoskins, Bryce Harper, the MVP of the NL last year, Nick Castellanos, JT Realmuto, and Gene Segura, all opposing pitchers are just going to have a tough time dealing with those guys, and 4 of those guys have had 30-plus home run seasons under their belts and plenty of on-base skills. I mean, we were just talking about how fast Bryce Harper can just do it all. Plus, again, reigning NL MVP. So we'll see if they take that step.
All right, let's be honest here. The Orioles have lost 108 games 3 out of the last 4 years. The only year they didn't lose 108 games was the shortened season where they played 60. The Nationals, they won the championship 2019, but most of those players are gone at this point. I don't think many people have the Nationals going to the playoffs or being a contender in general. So that really leaves us with the Phillies at this point. That offense at the top, where you've got Schwarber and you've got Castellanos and Harper and Realmuto and Hoskins, that is a stud lineup right there. The big thing for the Phillies is going to be whether or not, after Nola and Wheeler, is Ranger Suarez as good as he was last year? And how about that bullpen? Are the Phillies going to have that back of the bullpen that's going to be good enough to get them through the playoffs? Because this is a team that just had their first winning record in 10 years last year, and it's because they haven't had that deep roster. So hopefully we'll be able to see the Phillies be able to hold everything up here on Delmarva.
We will see.
All right, and that's going to do it for this block. We have one more block coming up. We are going to be talking about our nominees for Players of the Week when DSI returns.
I'm Bryson Coleman from Decatur, and this is Delmarva Sports Insider.